to the call. And, you know, the one thing that I always say about this industry and what's possible is, you know, today my probably day consisted of a number of these calls, a number of phone calls, a number of Skype calls, a number of webinars. And, you know, it's great in today's economy that, you know, you are able to really work from home and do something part-time along your normal job or your normal stream of income, and just make this the icing on the cake. So there are a lot of people on here. So Ellen opened the door for me to share my story. And, you know, my story is, you know, so I'm just the everyday average person. I grew up on the west coast of Tasmania in a mining town. There's about 1,000 people, and I left home when I was 15, not because I was kicked out of home, but really because I didn't have much of an opportunity. The schools only went up to year 10, so I left home, went to Hobart and went through education system there and put myself through university and become an engineer. And 2 years after being an engineer, I fired my boss and said, no more, 9 to 5 is not for me. I want to go and create my own destiny and follow my passions and dreams. And that started really through being, you know, talented at sport, and I wanted to be in the fitness industry, so I became a personal trainer. And I always think I wasn't ever just a personal trainer. I wasn't ever an engineer. I was always an entrepreneur. And the entrepreneurial way is to, you know, don't just settle for second best. So when I become a personal trainer, I didn't want to just train people in the park or one or two people. I wanted to set up a gym, and I did that and did incredibly well. I was 22. And by the time I was 25, I was, in my own eyes, I was living life on my terms there. I was my own boss, and, you know, I was working 2 or 3 days a week and making good money. And what do you do as an entrepreneur? You don't settle for one gym, you set up 5. And, you know, that for me was a massive learning curve, because I didn't really improve my profit center by having 5 gyms. What I did do is I owed the bank more money. I had more staff. I had more headaches. I was really at a point where I was not making as much money as I was when I owned one. And at that point in time, I started looking for the way business was changing. I re-educated myself in about 2006, 2007, and really started looking at how business is changing. You know, back when I set my first, there wasn't even one social media platform. The phone you were using, you could call people, but that was about it. And by 2006, 7, 8, everyone was on social media. Everyone started getting smartphones. Everyone started having access to the internet, not just in Australia, but all around the world. And I thought owning a gym was a prehistoric business model. People won't travel more than 10 Ks to go to you. So how do I implement the new age of business? And that's what led me to this industry, and started off dabbling with a company with weight loss products. And that's where Steve and I built a great business there. I helped Steve, you know, make a lot of money and open his eyes to what was possible. And 2011, Jeunesse were looking to launch into Australia, and myself and a couple of other entrepreneurs took up the opportunity to fly out there, meet the owners, and pioneer that company into Australia. And 4.5 years into that journey, you know, things have changed in a dramatic way. I sold every traditional business I had. I spend as much time living overseas as I do in Australia. You know, I just bought this house in October, and it was simply flying in from an overseas trip going to an auction, purchasing it and flying out on Monday and not having to worry about whether finance is going to get approved or not. And, it's a great lifestyle for me now. 1st of March is the start of the big travel schedule again. I'm off to the US, and I go to Europe 2 or 3 times this year. I go to Asia 2 or 3 times, US 2 or 3 times. And the great thing about this industry and Jeunesse as the rising star company in this industry, or the company that most people acknowledge now as the one really kicking the biggest goals, is where everything and anything is possible. And I'm really excited about the future. And we're in 2016, start of the year, and Jeunesse, as always, is at that point where it's really launching the year. And one of our biggest promotions we do once. I don't know if it's going to be ongoingly every year, but it's a very big promotion, is this Step Up to Success, or I think last year was Shoot to Sapphire or whatever it was, but we do them internationally in a lot of markets around the world. And it's a great way and a great motivator to really, give people some guidance and a roadmap to help them plan out what they need to do to get that bonus. And if you achieve that bonus, you've pretty much done what's required to take the business to the level that I'm at the moment. And this business for me is very, very simple. You don't ever have to become a rocket scientist. You don't have to become an engineer. What you do need to become is someone that's capable of understanding information and sharing that information. And the better you get at sharing that information, the better you become at this business. And the X factor of this business and this industry is your contacts list. And I always refer to it as your social capital. If you wanted to lend money off a bank to buy a house, the bank manager or the bank will say, what is your capital? And that is your net worth. And they'll say, this is what you earn, this is your income, this is your assets. And they'll say, you are capable of getting X amount of dollars. Now, your social capital is your network, and your network is the people that you know, the people that are on what you classify as your warm market list and your hot market list, and the people that really make it big in this industry have a list that will grow from the day they make the decision to move forward and build a business to, ongoingly. And for me, I've been through my contacts list maybe a dozen times now and presented the opportunity to everyone on my list that many times. I would be broke and bankrupt in network marketing now if I didn't make the decision that I need to grow my list and have more net worth. And that is knowing more people, meeting more people, contacting more people. And it doesn't happen when you grow out of your current network. It happens from today when you make that decision to be that entrepreneur. And for anyone that never, ever, ever pursues this to the level that they want to do, that is a massive tip moving forward, because every single successful person says you're current of the 5 people that you hang around. And if you hang around broke people that think the sky's falling in, you usually are broke. And unfortunately, that is the way. But we're all on here for good reasons. So I feel that I'm capable of saying a few things how it is, and if you really want to do well in this industry, I encourage every person to make sure you continue to grow your list and meet people and build rapport with people and continue to nurture relationships, and that'll put you in good stead moving forward. So that's a bit about my and what's happening. I guess let's talk a bit more specifically about what I call that sapphire position. We just had our Sapphire retreat in Noosa. And the Sapphire position is, in some ways, it's a great position to leverage your business building off, but in some ways it becomes the false economy of the opportunity, because some people think, oh wow, I've made it to Sapphire, and they think that they're living life on their terms, where our first real leadership position, and a really significantly important position, is the Sapphire position. Now, why is it important? It's important because it is a very significant position in the compensation plan, because you have to become a Sapphire. The Sapphire gives you multiple generations of matching bonus, but moving forward, when you become a director, you need to have Sapphires in your business. When you become an Emerald director, you need to have a lot more Sapphires in your business. So it becomes that, I guess, foundational type of position. But the false economy to it is, to become a Sapphire, you really only need 12 people to have 2. So you could be a Sapphire with 36 people in the business, or you could be a Sapphire like one of the founding distributors of Jeunesse was a Sapphire in Jeunesse, but he was also one of the biggest income earners in Jeunesse, because he enrolled a double diamond, who enrolled a double diamond, and they all had lots of diamonds. So as his Sapphire getting matching bonuses on his first, second and third generation, he became one of the biggest income earners of the company. So it's important to understand that that isn't the time that you have climbed your mountain and you sit on the top and you just throw that flag in the ground. It's a time when your business gets started. So we have our Sapphire promotion, and we all know, because we're shooting for those 1,000 bonus, 6,000 bonus, and in some cases here, people shooting for the bigger Sapphire Elite bonus. And some people will sit there and go, oh, is that possible? Well, last year in Jeunesse, we paid out $470,000 to distributors for reaching these levels. So that sort of gives you an idea of, yes, it is very possible. And it is a very good, I guess, what I call roadmap of what you should be doing to build the first phase of your business. Because if you reach those bonuses, it means that you have certainly done what's required to build a business, and that's enroll people. So if you enroll someone, you've had to share information. Now, to become a Sapphire, you need to have 12 people that have 2. So to have 12 people that have 2, you've actually had to teach people to share information. So if you've enrolled someone and you've taught someone to share information, you've done exactly what you need to do to be successful at this business. All right, enroll people and teach others to do the same. Now, the reason Sapphire is so good is because you haven't just done it once, you've done it at least 12 times. So we've proven that it's not a fluke. So if you can get into the habit of enrolling someone and teaching them to at least enroll 1 and 2 to become an executive, you've done the absolute foundation and most important parts of the business, and that is creating executives. Now, if you get to a phase in your business when you get through your warm market and you're running out of people to speak to, etc., and someone always says, Craig, I'm not making as much money as I want. I always say, how many people have you enrolled in the last 90 days? And usually those people that aren't, growing and making the money that they want to make, I always say, find out that they've usually enrolled less than 5 people in 90 days. So the answer to everything in this business is enroll new people and try and create executives, and those executives can then spring onto jades, pearls and sapphires herself. And, you know, Ellen's a classic case of, you know, just doing the right things long enough to find someone who finds someone who finds someone who finds someone, and magic can happen. You know, and that's if you keep focusing on, not on the money, but on the people and finding people and helping people, you know, the rest will take care of itself. So I just wanted to make a really strong point of Sapphire isn't the place when you've climbed your Mount Everest and whacked your flag into the top of the hill. It's a time of where you've just really found your groove and you've done what you need to do to take it to the next levels. And that is, the next level is full-time income, then life-changing income, and then stupidly rockstar income. And one of the reasons that I made my decision with Steve to move into Jeunesse was I looked at the biggest income earner of the company at the time, and he was making half the amount of money that I wanted to make. So I'm like sitting there thinking, if I have to be the number one and I'm still only making half the money that I want to make, there's something wrong here. But the good thing is, you know, the biggest income earners in this industry now are with Jeunesse. 16 of the top 100 biggest income earners are in Jeunesse. There's 150 people that have reached the Diamond Director level and above. And, you know, if you work out the mathematics of a Diamond Director with 1,000 cycles at the minimum point and the 6 Sapphire legs, I'm sure you can work out that, you know, the numbers there are pretty exciting. So there's lots of people doing it. So the exciting thing is it can be done, and you could be one of those people in the next phase. And the next phase for me is aligning myself with the company's vision. For myself and Steve and Ellen, not too long after that original starting point, Jeunesse was doing a month in sales, and last in the business I got to ride the wave of effectively, you know, the first $1 billion, and the company is now in phase 2, and the phase 2 is, you know, not just becoming a happy $1 billion company with their flag at the top of their mountain. It is, you know, that's their starting point, and becoming a top 10 company in the industry, becoming a multiple $1 billion company in the industry. And if you're in the business starting now, you have the same opportunity, but it's riding the wave of 1 billion to 2 billion, or 2 billion, you know, 1 billion to 4 billion, you know, that which is where the company certainly sees himself and beyond. And the good thing is too, and I always say that people sort of look at me with envy in some instances and say, well, you know, you started right at the start, it was so easy for you. Well, the reality is it was very, very hard to start then. You know, to give you an idea of that point in time, we had a business that all products got shipped from the US. Our serum, we were paying $25 shipping on an $85 US dollar at the time product. It would take 3 weeks to get to you. We only had 2 products. Our website was embarrassing. I wouldn't even show a family member our website. And our payment system, you would take 3 weeks to get paid, and we paid ridiculous fees. It was very, 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 very hard. And there was 8 entrepreneurs on that first journey out to meet the owners. Only 3 of us left now, because 5 of them, who were very solid, successful networkers in their own right, just found it way, way too hard to pursue Jeunesse at that time. Now, we rode the first 18 months of that until we got Chris Cooper, the general manager, that really set a lot of things up for us. And over the last, you know, probably 2 years, the stories got so easy to tell. A pretty hard story to tell. The first 2 we joined on their 2nd year anniversary. So year 2 to 4, every person you come across and say, oh, you guys will fall over because you haven't been in business for 5 years. What, you can't, it takes 3 weeks to get it was hard, very, very hard. And the reason I'm still here today is the vision I believed in the company, I believed in the owners, and and they followed through. And I always say to people, sometimes people say, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And for me, I've just sat back sometimes and thought, wow, because every time Jeunesse just keeps getting better. It's either a new product, or it's a new country we open, or it's not a bad website, it's an okay website that goes into a good website, into good videos, into apps. It's been a story that, I haven't sat there and gone, oh, that's what the problem is. It's always been a story where it's just got better and better and better. And I guess you can always hype anything up that you want. And there's a lot of companies that enter this industry just on selling hype and hope. And Jeunesse has backed it up with, the proper DSA accredited recognition. And we don't have to hype anything up. We just roll out the facts, and the facts and the story is pretty powerful, and that's why it's pretty exciting time to be a part of. And I'm sitting here in a house 5 years ago that it was a pipe dream. I wasn't looking in real estate magazines at houses that have a 7-figure tag in it. When I was looking to buy this house, I was looking at houses with 2 million plus attached to it. I'm very excited about what the future holds with Jeunesse for people that don't just join it and sit there and watch and hope, actually engage. And, I encourage everyone that's in business, or the leaders that are at that 50 cycle, 70 cycle, they're really shooting to become really solid, strong leaders, to be selling the message at how important this promotion is, because it can ignite fire in your business. Because if someone does earn that 1,000 bonus, or that it just builds belief. And everything in success is about belief. And once you get belief, that's when magic can happen. I always say my favourite cafe in Yarraville when I was living there was a cafe that I created more customers than they could ever imagine. And that occasionally they, if I didn't have the right change, they would let me off, or they'd give me a free coffee every now and then. But it was just because I had belief. I loved their product, I loved their service, and I invited absolutely everyone. Now, if they let me down, I would stop inviting people. This industry is all about getting belief, and it's all about telling the story with passion. And then it's about building a business, and the next part that I want to talk about is in regards to foundations. Now, there's people on the call that are at Steve's level in the business that have amazing foundations, and it's just a matter of adding and building to their foundations. And you've got people that are coming through like Ellen that have amazing foundations, and it's about more Zoom calls. It's about finding new people. It's about telling the story and building people and more foundations. And you get people that are at what I call the most important part of the business is when you're consistently doing 50 cycles a month. And when you're at 50 cycles a month, you have foundations to take you all the way. All right. You've done absolutely everything. You've probably experienced everything. And that is your best friend quitting. That is your sister won't join. That is, every single friend except for one says that you've joined a scam. So you've experienced everything, but not only for yourself, but for those leaders that have coming through on the journey with you. So this stimulate your foundations and allow you to build some momentum and speed into your business, but also pull through leaders quicker. And leaders quicker means finding those people that just get it, and the people that want it. So, you know, the benefits of someone that 50 cycle zone, obviously you'll be shooting for the, you know, the Sapphire Elite bonus, but you'll get there through having lots of people shooting for the $6,000 and the $1,000 bonus. All right, for your recruiting and your you know, enrolling people phase, you know, you would actually say, look, I can actually help you. And I know we're now 3 weeks into that promotion. You can actually sit there and say, you know, this is a great time to join. Join with me now, and let's work together to try and help you get a $1,000 bonus. Or, you know, it's a way to just give a reason for someone to listen to you tell the story a little bit more, or invite someone to a presentation. So, you know, it's, if you're in the business and you're at that 50 or 100, so obviously you're shooting for your, you know, your big bonus at the Sapphire Elite level, but you'll get there through promoting more people to shoot for $1,000 and $6,000 bonuses. So it's really important to get out there and ask the question to the people in your business. If you're really serious, you know, have a go at this. The time to really engage more. It's like a qualifier. Now, the art to this industry is getting good at qualifying. So lots of people come into the business with great intentions and saying, hey, I want this, I'm going to do this, but they don't do the getting started training. Or they say, hey, I want this, I do this. They do the getting started training, but they don't invite anyone to events and they don't turn up themselves. So if someone does that for me, they're talking a big game, but they're not delivering on, you know, what works, I back off. You know, the reason I'm on this call tonight with everyone here for Ellen is she does the business the way that it needs to be done. And that's a qualifier. If she wasn't doing the business the way it needs to be done, I wouldn't be on this call. And I constantly am qualifying people all the time. So if I enroll someone and they don't do the getting started training, they don't get my time until it's completed, because as soon as they ask me a question, I say, that was in the getting started training. Have you done that? No. Okay, well, you do that, and when you get back to me, I'll answer the question. All right, so you get really, really good at qualifying people. That includes with enrollments as well, because a lot of people say, hey, I've got this great Filipino leader. They say they want to make money. I say, hey, you better get better at qualifying people, because if I've been to the Philippines 11 times, and if you ask every person in the Philippines that, you know, do you want to make money? You've got 100%. Of course I do, sir. And if you say, do you want to do a business? Yes, of course I do. You know, so you have to say, are you ready to get started now? Do you have a credit card to pay for these products? And, you know, I had a tragic case of someone that I worked with in the business a couple of years ago. They worked and worked and worked on an overseas person. They said, Craig, they're finally enrolled. They've bought a serum. And I said, you've just spent 5 months working on this person and they've bought a serum. Like, you've lost a lot of money through time. So the moral to the story is, you know, don't listen to just words, you know, follow with their actions. And if someone doesn't do getting started training, you know, they're going to just fall on their face every single time. And because you think of it like this, if you bought a McDonald's franchise and you spent $1 million on that McDonald's franchise, and you didn't do their training to get started, how are you going to produce their product? It's next to impossible to produce that consistent product that's getting from here. If you don't understand this industry and business, you'll really, really, really struggle to move forward. Now, I guess the next point I've been building this business and this promotion leads into our biggest event of the year, which is our Gold Coast convention. Now, I always get to the start of every year and look at every major event that I believe is paramount for myself to work towards. And it's usually the international convention and the national convention. And my whole focus is to share the vision good enough that people catch fire and they want to go there. They commit to there. So it's Craig, I want to build a business. I want to make money. Okay, in 5 months' time, we have our conference in Gold Coast. It's where anyone that wants to build a business will be. So it sort of makes it sound like, hey, you're saying you want to build a business, so you have to be there. And if they say, look, you know what, I might miss that one, but I'll definitely go to the next one. I take 3 steps back. It's all about that qualifying. I say, when you get really serious about the business, we can work really well together, but I'm only working with people at the moment on a one-on-one basis that are committing to doing this business. And if you're committing to doing this business, you're actually going to the conference. That's where anyone that is wanting to build a business will attend. It's a once-off event of the year. So again, it gets down to qualify, and everything is about saying things the right way. I don't want to upset anyone or disappoint anyone or make them feel that I won't work with them, but I want to make them understand that if they want to be successful, they want to make money, they want to take this business to where it is that they want to go, that they need to be doing the right activities. And the conference is the event. And if I can get, 10 people at the conference, 20 people, 30 people, that's where people will catch the vision of the opportunity. And that's when, you find magic can happen. One of my first mentors in this industry told me that he took 10 people to his first international convention. Of the 10, 6 found enough in it to earn full-time income. And that was Sapphire Elite type of income. And because he had 6 earning Sapphire Elite income, he earned the money that he wanted to make. And that was full-time, life-changing income, etc. So I always follow that advice to a T. And, your Sapphire promotion now is A, to put money in people's pocket, to give them belief, but B, get them to see enough in the opportunity to be able to get big numbers to the conference and watch what happens after that. It'll be in May, and you'll have then 6 months to ride a wave of momentum moving forward. So I don't know if, Ellen, you want to ask some questions specifically, or you want me to answer anything for the team?
Yeah, so what I just thought, if anyone had any questions, there is I might turn to the gallery view if they want to raise their hands, or pop in the question in the chat box down the bottom if you want to type down there. One question I'd like to ask you, Craig, I've been listening to some industry recordings and things. So if you were to have absolutely no network and had to start from scratch your network marketing organization from today, how would you go about doing that? What would you think would be the best way of getting out there and getting out to a large audience?
Well, I mean, that's the $1 million question, and it's look, I'm open and honest when I say that that it's harder. Like for me now, I'm in that phase. I'm like the person that doesn't know anyone, and I'm meeting new people all the time. So I am trying to improve the quality on my social media platforms. So I use 2 social media platforms. I use Facebook and I use LinkedIn. Now, I use Instagram and YouTube as well, but they're the ones that I use as my true building list profiles. So when I say quality, it's easy to have 5,000 friends or 5,000 followers. I'm now replacing the Nigerian that wants to sell me a because a family member of mine's died with an actual entrepreneur, or the person that's, you woke up in the morning, you've got hi just written in your message. They're not friends on my list anymore. They're entrepreneurs, network marketers, business people interested in anti-aging. They've got to fit the categories of our product. Now, the good thing of our products is we have this good, I guess, ability to attract everyone on the planet, because the ultimate question is, can you wait to look 20 years older? And if someone's putting their hand up to that, they're insane. You don't want them on your list. So, every person wants to look as good and as young as they can for as long as they can. So we do have an ability to have 8 out of 10 people that will be customers anyway. But from a social media point of view, it takes time to build relationships with social media. But don't fall into the trap of messaging. Try and get that relationship from a friendship online to offline, as in a phone call, as soon as possible. So I grow my list through, say, LinkedIn, for example, but if they have a phone number, I ring and introduce myself. I'll say, hey, my name's Craig. I'm an entrepreneur from Melbourne. We're friends on LinkedIn. Notice you're doing a bit of home business. Is that something you're doing full-time or part-time? Now, it's the way that they then start looking at me and my profile and what I'm doing a little bit more seriously. So social media is one, but I would be joining meetup.com groups. I would be going networking in general, in any sort of local community group. I would join as many physical groups as possible. I'd even consider doing business meetings out of a hotel like the Hilton, where they have big foyers of business people, and they go in there for their own business meetings. So when I go to Adelaide, I go to the Hilton, I sit in there all day, and I just see meeting after meeting. I'm meeting people myself, but occasionally you do come across someone that may be interested or open, or they may have listened to what you said, or you just started talking to them, and that's you've got to basically get out and meet people. Because the social media side, it takes longer, and but you need to grow your list no matter what you do, whether it's genetics, network marketing. If your list is poor, you're broke in network marketing terms, but you're often, unless you're got some sort of recluse style business that allows you to make good money without talking to people, you probably need to grow your network anyway.
Awesome. That's great. Perfect. And what would your favourite personal development or industry specific book or book be, or something to read? What's your favourite tool?
Well, look, my favourite network marketing book would probably be Your First Year in Network Marketing. But there's so many really good resources now. One thing that I've been listening to a lot lately, I've been getting on the mlmnation.net and listening to actual network marketers tell their story and give their own tips of success. And they're 50 minutes, they're easy to listen. They're podcasts, you can listen to one while you're doing a workout, and you start really picking up some good advice, but also hearing their journeys. And often their journeys are not rosy. My journey, certainly to where I am today, has had ups, downs, highs, lows, great times, bad times, etc. But overall, every entrepreneurial journey has that sort of wiggly line to get to the top. So MLM Nation's really good. The GoPro stuff's, really good. That Eric Worre stuff. Darren Hardy, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he's got a really good 1 hour audio. Steve can type in the text box. I really like it just sums it up quite well. But importantly is, once you do listen to good information like that, you don't stop. our brilliant compensation. There's a free audio online, which, you know, it's from Tim Sales. It really good. It gives you great belief in the industry. So that's giving you a bit of an idea, Nat, for a few ideas for listening to stuff.
Awesome. And I just wanted to share this with everybody. As most people on here know, that I'm sponsored by Stephen Baker, and, you know, I work really, really close with Steve. But two things that Craig has done for my business that I'm not sure that he has ever known how amazing they have been was, once many moons ago, I was working towards going Sapphire, and I got off the phone to Craig and he said 3 words to me. He said, "Make it happen." And I got off the phone and I made it happen. And I'm forever thankful for you for that, because that meant that I was able to get on stage as the 12th Sapphire in Australia and have dinner with Wendy and Randy and all that back in 2012. And the other, you know, absolute gold piece of advice that Craig gave me, and Craig is the absolute king of asking for referrals. And obviously we all know the story about, you know, me, you know, being introduced to Stacey Mission, and just simply by asking for referrals, you know, that led to Angela Lucenti. So, you know, while I've worked extremely closely with, you know, Steve, Craig has absolutely been pivotal in my time, and I'm very grateful for that too. So I wanted to share that with everyone as well. So does anyone have any questions? I haven't got any questions in the chat box.
I may have covered it all.
I think you've covered it all. I think you've nailed it. So really appreciate your time. Now, as a little tradition as we do, we're going to take a screenshot, if that's okay. So if everyone wants to fluff their hair and put on a big happy smiley face and wave or do whatever you want to do. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And I'm just going to flick the other screen because we've got another screen of people. So 3, 2, 1. Awesome, guys. Amazing turnout tonight. Thank you again, Craig. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for your time tonight and your continued support for everyone in, you know, my team and our team collectively. We will all be working super hard, and hopefully you'll see a whole big rush of Sapphire and Sapphire Elites on stage at the May conference.
No worries. And just keep pushing hard, keep one step at a time. It's really, the time is now for Janess, and for the people that really want it, that's sitting there waiting for them. And we're at the start of the year. We've got this great promo. We've got the conference, and, you can create some amazing, exciting things for 2016 if you really put your mind to it.
Make it happen, guys. Good night. Thanks heaps. Okay. Bye.